So in the last episode, I talked about tables. In this one, I'm going to be talking about for loops and how they work. So you can iterate through a lot of things in Roblox, right? Not as much as in Python, but you can iterate through tables, you can iterate through numbers, you can iterate through a bunch of things. So I'm going to show you iterating through tables. So we're going to have a table. We're going to set this table equal to 1, 2, 3, and we're going to even make it have a key. We're going to do key underscore 1, right, equals 2. And then key underscore 3 equals 3. And we're going to do a for loop. So for index and value in pairs table. And we'll print index and the value. Now let's see what happens. We notice it says, okay, so 1 through 4, and then we have key and then 3, right? Key 3 and then key 2. And you notice this is out of order, right? It starts off with 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once we get to the strings, we notice, hey, it's sort of out of order. And that's because pairs does not do things in order, but it does iterate through the table, right? Now, if we were to do iPairs, we'll notice it doesn't actually do the strings at all, right? Also, if we make another table, right? If we were to do that, no. So notice iPairs does not include strings. It only indexes numbers in a table. That it has to start at 1 and it has to go plus 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It cannot skip indexes. If it does, it will not run properly and it will skip those indexes. Pairs, on the other hand, does everything, but sometimes it could be out of order, right? Like we see here, right? Because it's getting 3 first and then it's printing 2. Now there's another one called next. I personally use next. I'm not persuading anybody to use next, but next essentially just iterates through the table. It's regardless of what it is. It's basically like iPairs, except it's slightly faster for tables with a couple of indexes rather than larger indexes, but it works. I mean, I use it, it works for me, and whatever, right? It doesn't matter what the inside of the table, it'll always iterate through it regardless, just like pairs. Now you could also do a for loop with numbers. So I'm going to do for num equal to 0 to no hashtag table. This will get the size of our table, and then we'll do. So we'll print table, and then we'll print our num. This will give us our, this will literally loop to the table, and the index is given. And you notice we're getting the size of our table, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you notice it says nil. It's saying nil because these don't actually count as the size of the table because they're keys, they're not indexes. This hashtag only gets the size of a table with indexes. It gets the number of indexes on a table, not the number of keys. You can also make a timer with for loops. You can do for time equal to 60 to 0, and we can do our third parameter, which would be 1 minus 1, and we'll print time, right? So we'll notice if we add a wait, then we run it. We notice it's counting down from 60 to 0, and we just ran out of time. So this is good for round systems. What else can you do? You could also do, you can loop through the players if you wanted to. So you want to go, or you want to get the items in workspace, you can do for underscore, which means nothing, object in game dot workspace, get children do. So we'll print object, right? Because we're getting all the objects in the workspace, and then I'll show you what it prints. This will print all the objects in the workspace. I forgot to do the actual function to iterate. Cool. We notice we have the camera, we have the base plate, and we have terrain. We could also do it with any other service in the game. We could do server script service. We run it. It'll probably error because I spelled service wrong. Script service. There we go. And now we say, hey, that's the script running. You could also do something cool. If you want to make a for loop, you can do this. Don't ever do this, but it works. So we'll do dot disabled equals true. We'll run the for loop, then we'll do script dot disabled equals false. This will do a for loop. Please don't ever do this. Yeah. So they used to be able to loop indefinitely. Because wow, they patched it. Cool. It's pretty impressive. So I wonder if I can bypass that. Let me try it. I'll wait a second in between. Okay, so yeah, so it'll run indefinitely. So now you just created a while loop without actually having a while loop. Don't ever do this. You're better off using a while loop, which I will get to in the next episode. But this is for loops. This is their use. You can iterate through tables. You can iterate through strings. Like if you split them, you can iterate through times. You can make a timer. You can iterate through the players. You can iterate through player data. You can iterate through everything. Any table, any type of table, any type of service, as long as it's a table, any type of table. And that's any questions, DM me.